So I want to bring Peggy Shepard, our executive director and co-founder, back up to the stage. And she's going to really have a really wonderful panel with some of our members, as well as a couple of others who are going to be talking about issues impacting your home. And before that, however, we're also going to tee up the clip of a show called Breathing Easy, a film called Breathing Easy that was made with one of our members, Michele Holmes.
Most New Yorkers identify themselves by where they're from, what street they reside, and where they grew up. But what if you grew up here, where some people call it unlivable because the conditions are so deplorable? Many low-income neighborhoods in New York City are already dangerous, but health hazards such as mold, pests, and lead poisoning can be a serious threat to the families that live there.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty.
We had gaps all over, and we had roaches coming in like crazy.
My ceiling looks ridiculous at home. In my bathroom, the bathroom ceiling looks really bad. Covered in mold, the paint is falling off and everything. I'm like, when you take a shower, you got paint falling on you. If you sit on the toilet, you have paint falling on you. And then, like now we're having an issue with roaches, right? They're like everywhere.
So good morning again, everyone. You've just seen a video that was produced by the Educational Video Center here in New York City. It's a video center that trains young people in how to develop a documentary. And this documentary was done in collaboration with We Act, EVC, and the star director and producer of this video is Raelene Holmes.
Hi all.
And Jacklyn, Michele Holmes, is her mother. And Anna Parks, at the other end, is a We Act community outreach organizer who has been focused on lead and asthma and mold outreach in homes. And so this has been a great collaboration around this video. This was just a short clip of a much longer piece, as well as an odyssey of and a story of how the Holmeses have had these conditions and tried to really get them addressed, and how We Act and Anna Parks, our outreach coordinator, has been working on these issues. So, Raelene, would you like to just give us a few comments and tell us how this all came about?
Okay, so I'd first want to introduce myself. My name is Raelene, and I'm one of the students, the youth producers, we prefer to be called, that worked on this documentary. We knew we wanted this documentary to be around health, and I was one who vouched for focusing on myself and the issues that I face, because all I know, my entire life I've grown up in New York City, one of New York City Housing Authority's developments, and all I know is a moldy bathroom. So I didn't think that that was okay. So, we all sat down and spoke about it, and, we finally got some help from this video now that it's out there.
Okay. And Raelene, would you just like to talk about how you went to EVC and what that program is about as well?
Sure.
Because I see we have a number of young people here who could be interested.
Yeah, okay. So EVC, Educational Video Center, is a nonprofit organization that teaches students how to create documentaries around social issues. So if you're in high school, you can earn academic credit I learned about EVC through, I was actually in a high school equivalency program. And, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do anything. So when I got introduced to EVC, I spoke to an advisor, and he told me, this is a great program. You can just go. You'll get motivated to do many different things moving forward. And so I did join, and my grades went up and everything. I didn't earn any credit because the program that I was in wasn't credit bearing, but to go and learn the experience was beyond any, I wouldn't have needed it really. Just the experience alone is just amazing. So since it's a nonprofit, there's students from all over the city that come together, of between 17 and 21 that create these videos. I mean, from the stop and frisk policy to bullying and everything in between, and you really learn a lot. You really learn a lot. So if anyone is interested in joining, I'm here.
Okay. And Jacklyn, could you talk a little?
Add to that.
Please.
And I just have one thing to add to what Raelene said. She's being very modest. Because of the Educational Video Center, Raelene just came back from San Francisco for 3 days in which she took home a nice trophy for one of the videos that she co-produced, and it's on the stop and frisk policy.
It's my first time flying and everything. I'll never do it again. No. I almost had a heart attack. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's another thing. With all of the documentaries you produce, they get submitted into different film festivals, and when you win these awards, you get chances like I did to fly across the country, or sometimes fly to other countries. To retrieve your award. So it's a good place to be. Yeah.
And so, Raelene or Jacklyn, would you like to talk about, we can understand some of the frustrations you've had over the years in addressing this issue, but could you give us a quick summary of just what it's taken to get this addressed and whether it's fixed?
Okay, so we created this film, and nothing's been fixed. It's been about 2 years now since we made this film. The New York City Housing Authority, when we reached out to them, we got they passed the buck onto everybody. When we went through WeAct gave us many different connections to different places where we could get help. We did receive an air cleaner, but it's full, and no one has come to pick it up. And, if I set a cup of water in my mom's room, the next day it'll be moldy.
Yes.
And this is her room.
Yes.
And the bathroom is the moldy
To my room.
part that's connected to her room, and she has to sleep there. And we also have a pet, so this isn't safe for our family. New York City Housing Authority recently came to my home after we contacted Senator Gillibrand. They did what they did a few years ago, and that was scrape the paint off of my ceiling, wipe it down with some bleach solution mess, and then paint over it. So, the mold is still underneath, and it's coming through again. Now, this has been done before, and a recent study a couple years ago done by WeAct, we found that the mold is down to the foundation. When is it gonna go away? I mean, can anyone, we've contacted numerous places and we're not getting the help that we need. And now we have mold in the kitchen. I forgot to tell you guys that. Yeah, we have mold in the kitchen. The pests are coming. There's lead paint upstairs. and other apartments, it's a nightmare. It's really a nightmare, and we're living this day by day. We don't know where to turn. No one's, it's like we start getting help and we're moving forward, and then we just get brushed off. And then we just sit there like, okay, now what? So it's been helpful. We've gained a lot of different connections, but then we stopped. So it's like a stop and go thing.
Now, this actually has not just started a couple years ago. This actually, the mold was there when I transferred down. I've been a resident of NYC for 46 years. 21 years ago, I was told by NYC that I had to downsize or be evicted. As a working single mom, what could I do? I downsized and never knew that my apartment was full of mold. Once I noticed these funny looking spots, I was used to, I had to have a clean home. So I got some Tilex, sprayed the spot, it's gone. So I had to spray once a month my whole bathroom. But to keep a clean bathroom, I was constantly in the emergency room because I'm also asthmatic. I've been asthmatic since birth. So finally, my doctor told me, you're doing something that keeps causing these attacks. You need to stop it. The minute I stopped, the mold came really bad. I still was kind of an idiot, didn't know this is what this is, never saw a mold before. And a NYC employee told me, you have the worst case of mold that I've seen in any apartment. Please don't tell him I told you. And I did not tell, but I went to NYC and said, look, this is the situation. My daughter's born, she develops asthma, she's not born with it. And my grandson is born in the same apartment, he develops it. That's too much of a coincidence. And and my bedroom is on the other side of the wall. It shares the same wall with the bathroom. So I've been the one laying there now for 21 years, breathing it in. And one of my questions for the previous panel was prolonged exposure to mold. What does it do to your central nervous system? Because my asthma is not bothering me as it did in the past, but other issues have arisen that nobody has an answer for. And we've written every politician under the sun. We got help from one in 2011 when NYC came and did that whitewash, which was our public advocate at the time, Bill de Blasio. They came to our house 1 week after I wrote a letter to him. I actually emailed him. And they peeled off all the old paint, painted over. Mold came through again. Next time, I wrote every politician possible, and through EVC, I got to Senator Gillibrand. She contacted HUD. NYC came back to my door a month ago and said, okay, we're gonna take down every wall. We're gonna take out every fixture. We are going to put together a decent bathroom. You're not gonna have a problem. Somebody comes to my door, he comes in the day they promised, but one person. He does what they did in the past. He plastered up the holes, peeled off the old paint, threw a little bleach up on the walls, and painted again. Now, this was just a month ago. I went to the bathroom yesterday and I'm looking at the wall and, Raelene, could you come here a minute? What, Ma?
I'm not that horrible.
Yes, you are. what does that look like to you? She said, nah, I don't think it's. She said, yes, it's coming through again. It's only been a month. But this time they paint it with dark gray paint so you won't see it coming through again. So NYCHA plays games and they hide around the law so that they do have coverage and you don't. What do? And all you keep being told, well, move out. But if you don't have the money, and because of what I'm going through physically, we're finding more answers now. I even had to go on disability. Okay? I've been cheated out of a lot of my working life. I had 20 more years to work if I wanted to when I went out on disability. So what happened? You know, we're still trying to get more connections. As a We Act, it doesn't matter whether I'm a We Act member or not. We Act has been there because when We Act came, I wasn't a member. And We Act stuck by us. They're giving us more information. We're all fighting this fight together, but the fight hasn't been won yet. And you know, this is not, it's not a personal fight now, it's a group fight because our personal problem is the problem of thousands of people in this city, but we can even limit it to thousands within NYCHA, which is the largest slumlord in the country. What do we do? Where do we go? Even if I was able to leave, I need new furniture. My furniture is mold infested now. You know, what do? You know, my daughter, when she finishes college and moves on, what's gonna happen? I'm keeping, even if I move, I'm keeping all of the health issues from the prolonged exposure. How do we change this situation? Not only for me, but for our city, period. How are we gonna change it? How do we get legislation put together? How do we fight? I mean, what else can we do?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Parks, and I work for We Act, and I've been working for We Act for about 7 years. And prior to working for We Act, I was a community health worker and worked in the South Bronx and Northern Manhattan for children with asthma. I do environmental health assessments. I work on all the indoor environmental health issues at We Act. I started working at We Act through a HUD project, and it was a citywide HUD-funded lead program. And during the process of me doing the lead work, I noticed that part of the environment was I saw more things going on inside an apartment. And one of the things that I've seen throughout the years is the situation with mold. During the process of my work, I've done a lot of social work and kind of gathering and being able to put together information and helping families to kind of guide them through the complicated system that we currently have, and to address the problems of indoor environmental health issues. I started working with the Holmes family, and I tried many different agencies to assist them. This has been, in my career of 20 years, one of the most difficult families that I've because I usually love to see a success in the families. I'm diligently and going behind landlords and getting agencies to assist the families. I don't take no for an answer. I usually find somebody else. If you say no to me, I'm gonna find out who you work for or who's over you to help the families in the community. But this particular situation has been one that I've pondered for some time now. because we haven't been able to help the family into the extent. I'm hoping that there's folks in the audience and there's people who will hear this story and will assist and maybe come back to us and talk to us on how better way. I know that the Holmes family is not the only family that have been dealing with this situation. As we've been speaking about the NYCHA lawsuit that was just recently won. We're hoping that we're going to get some more answers to assist the Holmes family. But in the process of what I tried to do was I contacted the Department of Health, and they were able to come in and do an IPM. I also contact NYCHA on different levels to find out what was going on. I also reached out to other organizations and based organizations in East Harlem and in Northern Manhattan. We were able to get someone that's very well-renowned, and Ray Lopez, to come in, and he did a test where he identified that the mold was engraved in the concrete. And this is why in this particular apartment, it keeps coming back. This is a family that has tried to get, I've come to the conclusion, this family needs to be transferred completely out of this apartment. And New York City Housing Authority keeps denying them the transfer. Why, I don't know. This is something that I'm going to tackle as on Monday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning when I get back to work. And also we'll be talking to Ray Lopez. We had a slight conversation yesterday on how we're going to enforce the lawsuit law to help the family and figure out what exactly is going on. And we also brought in micromycology, which is an independent contractor, to work with the family. What can I say? We still have a lot of work to do. As we have talked about in this summit, and one of the things that I'm really proud of being a part of is the asthma-free bill that's about to be passed that we're working on. We need to build this coalition. It's very important to me throughout the years of all the work that I've done. This is one of the next proudest things that I am going to be working on. And I'm looking forward to mobilizing people. I was thinking each day as I go to work, I said, oh, I'm going to get on the bus, I'm going to get on the train. I am going to talk to folks to understand how important this is. Local Law 1 of 2004 is a law that I have been really pushing for lead poisoning, and it enforces the landlords to do the work. We're hoping that this coalition and this bill will be passed, and it can't be passed just by WEAC and the families. We need a mobilization of folks from all parts of the city. So I say that to say that we plan to move forward with the Healthy Homes campaign to identify key ways to address these issues for residents, families in Northern Manhattan and citywide. Thank you.
So we want to, again, give you a slide of the coalition demands around 382 and 385, I'm sorry.
Sure, 385.
385. And so we're going to be continuing to work with the Asthma-Free Coalition. Some of the members were here yesterday afternoon who talked about some of the legislation as well as a variety of bills that have been introduced at the City Council level. So we are asking people to sign on to the WEAC for Healthy Homes Coalition. We will keep you involved and let you know when hearings are coming up, when we're having visits with elected officials who might be representing your particular neighborhood. It's very important that council people see the folks from their district who are asking for their help on these issues, and we will have some of those council persons who head the health, housing, public housing, and environmental committees here this afternoon so that you can speak directly to them around these issues and continue to put a face on these issues. I know some of you here have a story to tell, and we certainly want our electeds to hear those stories and understand your experiences. I'm going to ask you all to give us some closing remarks or observations as we then move into lunch and a variety of sessions, really rooms where some of the city agencies have set up informational tables and are free to talk to you on a one-on-one basis about particular issues. So I'm going to ask all of our panelists and the Holmeses to give us some final remarks.
Just with this in mind, this exasperating situation has created a drive in me to follow my passion for telling stories via film. I'm enrolled in LaGuardia Community College, and I teach students around the city various technical things in many different organizations. I've joined We Act as a member, and I know that in years moving forward, I'll continue to work to fight and solve the issues of mold and toxins in my home environment, and not only for myself, but for others living in the same deplorable conditions. So thank you for all attention that's paid to this matter.
Sitting here during this summit and listening and actually having to go over again in my head what's been going on, it has me a little, it upsets me a little. So I can't think right now with everything I want to say, but I do want to say to each and every one of you, thank you for coming out, and read as much as you can and sign up if you can for the healthy homes. And, don't think of just yourselves. You may have a place to live that's mold-free, insect-free, or whatever, but think of your neighbor. He or she may not be as lucky as you are. And keep that in mind. And one voice is not always heard. It takes hundreds, if not thousands. Add your voices to our fight and help us to where everybody can enjoy some of the things that you enjoy. Thank you.
Hi, just again, don't forget to fill out the forms for the Healthy Homes campaign. And also, if anybody wants any information or would like me to come to their organization, I do travel citywide if I have to talk about this campaign. And if anybody wants more information, you can reach me at 212-961-1000 extension 308. And thank you so much for coming.
Give a nice round of applause for our panelists. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing those powerful stories, Michele and Raelene, and Anna for your hard work, and Peggy for leading. We encourage you all to join the We Act for Healthy Homes campaign. We're working on growing our power. And as we come to an end, we're going to ask you to fill out evaluations and look at your program for a number of resource sessions where you can get more information about the services and things that might be immediately helpful to you. I'm going to look forward to seeing you back in this room this afternoon. I do have one particular announcement to make.